Good morning. I think we're up to episode 8, maybe? I'm not sure. Anyway, yesterday we fixed up the issues with the wall by putting in these edgings. It seems to have held, so I'm happy with that, and it looks awesome. The white on the grey has turned out really nice, and I'm really happy. It is actually bouncing a lot of light off it as well, which I wasn't 100% sure on, but it seems to have worked. Today I think I need to catch up on a lot of stuff because I'm quite far behind, but we'll do the wheel arches, and I'm hoping to put in a barrier between the cabin and the cargo bay, but I need to measure to make sure I can still use the rear vision mirror. So I will probably also be putting some cabinetry up at the top. So I hope we can get both of those done today. If we can, I will need to address this as well. This electrical layout is taking up way too much space, but I am not overly familiar with car electrics, so I need to figure out some stuff, but in order to get that barrier up, I need to move this. So let's get started. I'm gonna get started on the wheel covering. With that, it should hide any of these uncovered patterns on the wall. For that, I'm going to be using the structural ply because I don't know yet if I'm going to have things resting on it. So I did have some ideas of using this as a sitting space, or cabinetry, or possibly my desk. I'm not too sure yet. I still need to take measurements of inside the cargo bay, so I know how things fit. I do have several different designs. They all incorporate the stuff that I want to put in there. It's just layout is different. So I need to work out that stuff a bit later. For now, we'll just cover it. Yeah, I'm hoping I can get that done before lunchtime, so that gives me 3 hours to do both of them. I don't think that there's any big issues there. It should just be basically a square and pop it in. I did also notice, and I apologize, it's taken so long for me to notice, that the camera gets this clicking noise, and I believe that might be from the selfie stick that I was using, because it grabs onto the actual camera, and I think it's grabbing onto the microphone areas. There's 3 microphones on this camera, so I'm trying a different selfie stick today. Hopefully it will get rid of that noise. Reason I've been hesitant to use this selfie stick is because the tripod on it is not as stable as the other one, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to actually rest this one down. Okay, so I've made my rough cuts. So it's not exact, I haven't sanded it back yet, but I just want to make sure that it is the right size. So I did label them as well, I am learning. 25 is this way. 3 is this way. Okay, the width of it is good. Let's check the height. Yeah, height is good too. So I am just gonna sand this back to the size that it should be. I actually need to check what kind of sanding equipment is here. Give me a sec. Okay, I found the sanding equipment. It looks like there's a belt sander, just a normal flat one, a triangle sander, I don't know what they're actually called, and a rotary sander, which should come in very handy. Unfortunately, there's no sanding paper. They're all worn away, so I'll have to duck up to Bunnings to get some more. Look, my pigeon friends are back and he's bought some friends. Back from the hardware store, I got the sanding paper. It's called a detail sander, apparently. So I got two different sandpapers. One is a 60 grit for rough edges, and the other is a 120 just for a bit finer detail. I don't think I'll need that right now, but later on I'm pretty sure I will. Gonna get the jigsaw and cut it a little bit closer to the edge. The sander's just taking a little while to get through more than a few millimeters at a time. I finished sanding back the plywood. I bought some L brackets yesterday, so I'm just gonna affix those on and we will test it out. Just before I start screwing these in, I had to get some screws that were smaller. The ones that it came with were way too big for this plywood. I'm just gonna measure it. It still looks a little bit too big, maybe a millimeter or so. So what I will do is maybe get some of that thin plywood and put it in between. Yeah, that's looking a lot better. I've cut out 6 pieces because I'm going to be using 6 pieces to start with. One more thing, with the plywood, I'm putting all the straight edges that the plywood was actually cut from on one side. So the uneven edges are all going to be on this side. And this side is what's going to be affixed to the wall. doing that because that is going to be covered with the vinyl planking, and on the front side, which is in the middle of the cab, the cargo bay, sorry, it'll sit flat. I'm putting both pieces of the thin ply in, because when I measured the L bracket, if I drill one piece at a time, it will be slightly off from the side piece. So I'm just measuring it up before I drill. I've finished putting the brackets on. It looks fine. Let's give it a go. It's flat sided. Yeah, it sits alright. Let's have a look from this side. Yeah, that's good. I will... I'm not worried about the slight angle there, because when I put the front piece on, it'll straighten it up. I just need to make sure. Yeah, so all the bits that aren't covered in there are covered here. So, yep. And I've got a little bit of leeway as well, so I can move that around if I need to. Cool. So I am also going to be using the L brackets to mount it on the back there. How am I going to do that? I'm thinking I'm just gonna wing it and use the screwdrivers, and we'll see if that works. Okay, so I've marked out where I am going to drill, and I've put 2 more brackets in. So I'm going to put this on first and then cover the front of it. I forgot to mention, I am going to be using the screws that came with the brackets, just because they're longer It's just the structural ply behind there that's we're drilling into, so the screws should fit. Okay, I'm going to secure this front piece of ply in now. I was thinking of putting insulation in there, that wall, the glass wall stuff, but I decided against it because it's dangerous to breathe in. In the walls, it's sealed with the silver wrap, but if I just have it stuffed in there, it's not really sealed. There's still gaps behind the wooden frame that it could potentially blow up in the air. So I'm not going to put any insulation in. There is storage space there, but I think I'm just going to leave it. I'm pretty sure I've got enough storage in my design that I won't need that tiny little bit. I mean, if in future I can just cut it and make a little door that I can put in stuff there. Okay, these two side bits are not screwing in all the way. I'm just gonna get a slightly bigger screw for those. Alright, it looks good so far. The only thing that I need to fix is this bit here. It's slightly off, so I will just sand that back and then we can cover it over. I've finished sanding back the uneven edge, and now I'm just going to measure up the planks and decorate it. It's 1:30 p.m. and I have just finished the first wheel arch. It looks pretty nice. I am hoping the second one doesn't take quite as long. I already have all the measurements and I know how to install it now. So let's hope we can get this done in the next hour, and then we can start on the barrier. Just while I'm making the second wheel arch, I forgot to mention yesterday, I had some concerns that the sun would warp the vinyl tiles in the heat, but it hasn't. So it didn't happen with the floors, but it did happen the first time that I put up the walls. So it looks like that adhesive, once it's dry, it does lay in the position that you leave it in. I've completed the second wheel arch covering. This time it only took me an hour and a half to do the whole thing. So it definitely goes a lot quicker the second time around. I think it took, well, I started at 1:30, so like 6 hours to do the first one. Not sure why there's such a big discrepancy. I did change to the jigsaw rather than the circular saw on the second one, which gave a easier, closer cut. But other than that, I didn't really do anything different. Yeah, not sure. Maybe it's just measuring and all that kind of stuff. But it looks really good. I'm fairly pleased with the way it's turned out. I think at the moment, it's about 3 o'clock. I think I will fill in some of these gaps with the spack filler. And I might, it's a bit too late to start on the divider for the cabin and cargo, but I might take some measurements for that today and we'll get started on it first thing tomorrow. I finished filling in the gaps between the planks. It's coming out really well. The white filler goes really well with the white wall, so you can't, it kind of just looks like grout that you have between tiles. So yeah, pretty happy with that. I'm just gonna, it is getting pretty late. I think the sun will go down in the next half hour. I'm just gonna take some measurements for the barrier. Yeah, and we'll go to the hardware store in the morning and pick up some more wood. Okay, I've taken my measurements for the barrier. We will start on that first thing in the morning. Hopefully we can get that done within the day. I don't have a lot of time to play around anymore. I've already passed my threshold, so I'm way behind. I may need to call in some professionals to get stuff done just to catch up on time, so I'm not wasting time figuring out how to do things like the electronics. Yeah, we will see if we can do that tomorrow. Once that's done, we can start putting in the plumbing and the electronics and the equipment that I'll be needing. Once again, thanks for joining. I will see you tomorrow.